So you got $1,000 to spend. What is the best way to spend it for maximum return on investment? Stick around. This video is brought to you by Email 10K. Learn how to book meetings with billion-dollar brands and take your company to the next level at email10k.com. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that we have tried almost everything when it comes to growing our business. We've invested tens of thousands of dollars in Facebook ads, tens of thousands of dollars in YouTube ads. We've spent tens of thousands of dollars on an outbound sales team, all sorts of stuff. And I'm going to talk about that in this video. But let's start from the beginning. Let's say you have $1,000 in cash to invest in your business. What is the best way to spend that in order to actually get a return? That's what I wanted to cover in this video, because there's a few things that you could spend that $1,000 on, and any of them could work. So let's kind of rank them in terms of how likely they are to work, and then we'll go from there. Let's start with number one. The best use of $1,000 is going to be cold calling. Now, I know it's tough to cold call yourself, but if you spend $1,000 on the greatest salesman of all time, maybe you're paying them $50 an hour to cold call, that's what, 20 hours of their time? Maybe 5 of that is for script development. You will book some meetings off of hiring a cold caller. This is something that we offer at X27, and for good reason. If you can sit there and you can cold call, it still works in 2021, and it's an amazingly quick way to either generate meetings or at least get in touch with somebody. The next thing I'm about to talk about is a little tougher, but it's something that we also offer at X27 because it works well. Number 2 is cold email. Now, the reason why I said cold calling is a better use of $1,000 than cold email is because if you can get a good cold caller, you'll be able to make that $1,000 from a couple meetings booked. $1,000 and 15 to 20 hours of a great cold caller's time should get you meetings on the calendar. That week, that day, however long it takes to spend, that's 4 days of 5 hours of cold calling a day. You'll get through to somebody, especially if you're targeting local businesses, you'll make your $1,000 back. Now, cold email, if you're learning it like we talk about in the Email 10K process, it is more of a skill that you're acquiring. If you're hiring a cold emailer and you go through somebody that's not X27, who knows if you're gonna make the money back? And we charge more than $1,000 for our cold emailing services. So check out x27marketing.com for more info on that. But if you hire a great cold emailer and they send, let's say, 400 customized, highly targeted emails for $1,000, the odds that you're gonna get enough meetings to pay that back are high. You might make that $1,000 back off of $1,000 spent on cold emailing, assuming you already have what they call product market fit, meaning if you already have like 3 customers, then you're gonna get value in this. And that actually goes back to the first point, which is if you are not in the scale phase, meaning you don't have at least 3 customers that aren't affiliated, they're not your mom, they're not your friends, they're not you. If you're not in that phase, you need to go out and do any of these things we're talking about yourself. And I would recommend cold calling at first and then cold emailing because they're the 2 cheapest ways that only cost your time. Get 3 customers on your own, then you can spend the $1,000. The problem with spending the $1,000 before you have this product market fit is you could have the greatest cold caller of all time. But if he's selling something that people don't actually want because you haven't tested it, you don't have any customers for it, then you're not going to be able to close those deals. And again, if you want to learn cold email, I would highly recommend jumping in Email 10K. And if you want somebody else to do it for you, go over to x27marketing.com and engage with the team over there. By the way, check out Crazy Money. If you haven't seen our new YouTube channel, it is the greatest sequence of videos we've ever made. It's literally like video after video of me spending massive amounts of money to try to hedge against the future. I'm doing options trading. I'm doing stocks and bonds. Div, my assistant, now our marketing lead out in India, is investing in Dogecoin. Like everyone's going crazy here. The next one that you could do is content creation. You could hire amazing writers to either make YouTube videos for you or create blog posts. What I would actually recommend is if you have $1,000, pay other creators. So pay some people like me. We charge more than $1,000 because we actually know how to run our business, but there's a lot of YouTube creators that don't know how to negotiate and don't know how to run their business. So you might be able to get 10 mentions for $1,000 from 10 major YouTube channels. And you can use a tool like Upfluence, who's a sponsor of ours, to find those. And they did not pay for this mention. They're just a great tool. So paying somebody to produce content, I would highly recommend if you're going to spend $1,000 and you want an ROI on that. You want an actual return on that money spent, that you pay somebody to make content on their channel towards their audience. You do not try to build your own blog or start your own YouTube channel with the $1,000. And that's because I actually want you to make money on it. So it's always better, instead of trying to be a YouTuber, just tie yourself to the YouTubers that already exist and you'll see results a lot quicker. By the way, if you do want to sponsor this channel, our email is below. If you want to email them, Michelle will help you. The next thing you could spend the $1,000 on is throwing a seminar or throwing an event or paying to speak at a seminar or an event. We did a YouTube video a long time ago when we hosted this event in New York City, and one of the sponsors, Base, paid us $1,000. They're Zendesk Sell, or maybe they paid us more than that, but we talked about them right in the middle of the speech, and they got some customers out of that. So if you wanted to sponsor somebody else's talk, you could, or if you want to give a talk and at the end have a solid call to action, then you could do that as well. I found that paid speaking events do actually close business if you do it the right way. Personally, I like talking to the video and doing YouTube stuff more than I like speaking on stage, but I have done it previously and it is a good way to generate money. And it's actually fairly cheap. $1,000 is the maximum that you're gonna spend for a speaking gig at any regular conference. Like, we're not talking about sponsoring Dreamforce or anything here, but any regular conference you're gonna be able to get in for $1,000 or less. Another one, if you want an ROI, is social media marketing. Now, the way that we talk about social media marketing is more through the cold email lens. So on Twitter, it would be posting high quality content and engaging with other people to try to sell them directly on your offer. On Instagram, it would be DMs, so slipping into the messages of people. On Facebook, it might be Facebook group engagement. So when I'm saying social media, I don't mean making 3 Twitter posts a week on your corporate Twitter account. I mean legitimately trying to make money off of one of these social platforms. And you can hire somebody to do that for $1,000, maybe on Upwork or similar. If you actually want a video on how to hire for this, let me know down below in the comments. The last one is pay-per-click. The reason why I say that's the last one is because if you're spending $1,000 on pay-per-click and your product is anywhere near what ours is, so we're charging $4,000 a month or $5,000 to $10,000 a month even. And so when you're talking about a $100,000 a year product, you're going to have to spend, let's say, $25,000 to get a client. So $1,000 isn't really gonna do it for you, but if you have a low price product, maybe you can hire a PPC manager to deal with that. And that's why that's the final one on the list, but I would not recommend spending the $1,000 on pay-per-click. And there you go, that's the best ROI for $1,000 spent. If you wanna learn cold email, you wanna grow your agency from 0 to 10,000 a month, check out email10k.com. It goes over exactly how to do that. This video is brought to you by Email10K. So you don't have a business idea, huh? Do you wanna know what the best business to start is, regardless of market conditions? Check out the free presentation at email10k.com. We have over 200 students that are crushing it using this business strategy, even during this time. So check that out, email10k.com. Thanks for watching the videos. Be sure to hit that like button to encourage this type of content on YouTube. Subscribe for more content like this, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. I'm Alex Berman.